I can tell I know I need some dental work done, and my
Hmm?
gums are unhappy, but I just got through with a pretty nasty sinus infection, and I finally had to go to amoxicillin, and I was
Yeah.
taking
Okay.
Wish Garden, like biotic too, that kick-ass biotic with it.
Mhm.
And finally, after 6 days, like almost my last day, it's really starting to clear. So I know I need, and I haven't taken antibiotics since 2020. All right. So,
Mhm.
but my teeth are still unhappy. I have the clove oil you
So
just
what
said.
does that mean? Your teeth are unhappy? Is there pain or there achiness?
Yeah, a little bit of it. They're just really letting me know. And I know I've got a few cavities in my gums, but I didn't really want a dentist messing with me if I could help it till I got through the sinus infection and I cleaned
Were they
everything up
hurting before the sinus issue?
a little bit. Yeah.
A little bit? Had you been having low grade sinus issues before the bad outbreak?
Yeah. I think,
It's probably more your sinuses than it is your teeth. Like
okay.
sinuses can actually cause your teeth to go crazy, like pain wise, and it feels like you gotta get dental work. Or I'm not saying that you don't, but like that you just came out of a serious, sinus issue where you're having to do all that. I would say I would resolve the sinus issue
Okay.
and like really make it go away, and most likely that teeth pain will go down quite substantially. And so one of the things that you can also still treat the mouth, but instead of treating it with like things, you can use the clove to manage the pain, but I would also probably do several drops of cypress in water and then gargle with it a lot, or even just put several drops on your tongue. Or one of the tricks that I do sometimes is I'll take like several drops of cypress and I'll rub it along the roof of my mouth.
Oh,
And
okay.
uh sometimes like the mouth needs to be like detoxified a little bit, because it is also contributing a little bit to the sinus issue. Like sometimes, even though we are doing things to knock down the bad bacteria, sometimes we don't have enough like good bacteria in the mouth. And so that's the thing with like using something like rosemary verbena. Inhaling it is very good for the sinuses itself, but I would say take a few drops of that as well, because it will help with some of the things in the gut long term. Like we talked about in the digestive class, like things that help with friendly bacteria, one being just the palmarosa.
Okay.
Over a period of time, if you're increasing the good bacteria in your gut, eventually it's going to affect the mouth as well. And so I would do that. Or if you wanted like a quicker fix, I'd still do the rosemary verbena and then just take some probiotics really, and see if that helps. But oils that are good for cleaning up those sinuses. Rosemary verbena is very good for reducing some of the inflammation, but you could also start rotating with some of the oils that you have, like inhaling a bunch of helichrysum or a bunch of myrrh, or basil is good. Terebinth can be drying to some of the mucus, but there's the mucus part, but there's also like there's just a bunch of inflammation a lot of times in the sinuses that just has to get reduced. And part of the issue is that sometimes, like if there's a stress in the digestive tract or in the solar plexus, that energy rises up and hits the sinuses. It hits the mouth and hits the sinuses. And so, like if you look at it clairvoyantly, like there's usually a lot of like red prana in the sinuses when there's infection and inflammation, but it's like a heavier, like darker kind of red. So it usually means inflammation. And
Okay.
so that's what stress energy looks like. And so reducing some of the stress, not just in the sinuses, but in the gut as well. So going back to, tarragon, anise, rosemary verbenan, marjoram. All of those can be somewhat helpful. And
Do I
then,
do I take them internally,
yeah,
Greg?
those I would take internal, just because they'll help to normalize the gut kind of a little bit quicker. And so, honestly, if I was going to choose something out of that, I'd do the rosemary verbenan, because it's good for the gut. It's good for stress in the gut. It increases blood flow to your head,
Oh,
which
wonderful.
the issue with sinuses, like even with the amoxicillin and stuff, it's that sometimes it takes longer for it to work on the sinuses, because the sinuses don't have the greatest blood supply. And so by increasing some of the blood up towards the head, it can help reduce the length of time that you need to treat. But also, rosemary verbena is great for inflamed sinus tissue. Like it is helpful. There is an herb called golden seal. Get the root, golden seal root, and I'd take 3 capsules a couple of times a day, and that will also break down the mucus, stimulate lymphatic function, stimulate the immune system. It's kind of like a natural antibiotic, but it is a really good go-to herb for sinus related issues. Like anything mucus oriented in the gut or in the sinuses, golden seal works really, really well for that.
I have some of that from that Mohs surgery. I don't know. I bought a bunch of stuff like that, just
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
have.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I have some of that. And how about, I was going to ask, oh, how about oregano? A really good
Yeah,
oregano,
oregano can help.
but not quite.
It's always going to boost the immune system, but it doesn't always knock out some of the stuff with. I mean, you can use it. I would go to rosemary first, the rosemary verbena, but you can augment with oregano. I probably wouldn't mix them, like just because you want the rosemary to do what it's going to do. The oregano is not hurting anything, but it's probably not going to be the thing that knocks it out either.
I do have the rosemary. I haven't
Yeah.
used it, so it'll be wonderful. I'll probably fall in love with that one too.
Yeah,
Some
I
of these
know.
have become very best friends. You can't imagine being without them. Thank you so very
You're
much.
so welcome. Hey,